Yo, what is up guys? It's Pedro here, and in today's video I'll be talking about why I think this Noah Brown signing changes a lot of things for the Washington Commanders and this offense and the success of Jayden Daniels this season. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button and that notification bell as well. Check out BetUS, link in the description. And yeah, the liking, notification bell and commenting, all those really do help out a ton. It's free. We're really close to 13,300 subscribers, so go ahead, help me get there. Very close. But let's get right into it. So yesterday the Commanders signed Noah Brown, and I made a video talking about that. And I mean, actually, I guess we just hit 13,300, but still 13,400 now. But yeah, the Commanders just signed Noah Brown. Made a video about that. Very happy about that. I think most Commanders fans, that was their number one signing that they wanted the Commanders to make that was, still available, and they were able to make it. They didn't get any waiver wire claims, which, still not super happy about it, but at the end of the day, a lot of those guys are Jags. But I just think personally they're better than some of our Jags, but you're nitpicking at that point. But Noah Brown's a stud, and he has been, or at least, someone said I use stud too loosely or whatever. He's a good player. And, you look at his stats, and, you might just think, okay, whatever, like, it's nothing crazy, which, okay, yeah, that's fair. But so 2017 to 2022 with the Cowboys, first 2 years barely played, had like less than 100 combined yards. Then 2020 had 154 yards. 2021, 184. Those are De'Ami Brown type seasons. Like, De'Ami Brown hasn't shown more than 184 yards in a season, I believe. Maybe he's around that in 1 or 2 seasons. And then his fifth year, he has 555 yards and 3 touchdowns. Not an insane game, but like that's a solid game. Not an insane season, but a solid season for sure. Like, that's a good number 3 or 4 receiver on a solid team, and that's what he was. And that, the Cowboys that year were solid. And this past year, in only 10 games, which he started 7 of them, he caught 33 passes for 567 yards and 2 touchdowns, averaged 17.2 yards a catch, had a 75-yard, I'm assuming that ended up being a touchdown, yards per target 10.3. So when the quarterback, in this case CJ Stroud, targeted him, they were pretty successful, which is great to hear for, Jayden Daniels here in Washington. And I just think this changes a ton because the Commanders just didn't have anyone on this roster that you're like, okay, this guy can get you, 500, 600 yards. Maybe De'Ami Brown can, but he hasn't done it in the league so far. Like, I'm excited about De'Ami, or maybe not excited is the word, but like, I want to see what he can do. And yeah, I guess a little bit excited to see what he can do this year, but I'm not banking on him getting you 600, 700 yards because he hasn't even, gotten 200. Like, I'll look it up here, but like, let's look at De'Ami Brown's stats, who is supposed to be our number 2. So 165, 143, 168 yards. And he can have all the offseason he wants and have a good connection with Jayden Daniels, but that doesn't change the fact that he hasn't produced, and I'm not, I can't count on him that he's going to have a 700-yard season. He could, for sure could. I mean, his role is definitely going to be expanded this year than it was last year. I mean, he got 23 targets last year. I mean, I would assume he gets 23, in the first 5 games? Probably in the first 5 games. And he's probably going to get like 60, 70 targets this year. And yeah, he should be getting more targets, and he should have gotten more targets earlier, the last couple years, but he didn't. It is what it is. Partly was him too. Like, he wasn't producing to what they wanted him to, but it was also the quarterback didn't necessarily mesh his style of play with Heineke, and then Howell just was missing the deep balls, and Heineke just didn't have that arm talent necessarily. And then also the offensive coordinators did not help at all, especially Eric Bieniemy. So that's a little bit of a different topic, De'Ami Brown, but Noah Brown, and we got 2 players with the last name Brown in this receiving core. Noah Brown last year was on pace for 964 yards and 3 touchdowns, 3.4 touchdowns. And yeah, played in 10 games, had like a groin injury, something else, had a shoulder injury this offseason, but he actually is practicing. He practiced today for the Washington Commanders. Got some work in with Jayden Daniels, so I'll show you guys that in a second. But first, a word from today's sponsor. And a huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's video. Use my link in the description. It'll take you to this page. You get 125% sign up bonus on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. You got really fast payouts, the fastest in the industry. And there's a bunch of different sports if you check out here on the left that you can go through, and you just click there. You can bet on your favorite team or any different league you want to. And if you want to get more specific, if you click football and then you go to week 1, there's odds on every single NFL game. So the Commanders versus Tampa Bay Buccaneers game, you got that going on. The Commanders are 3.5-point underdogs, plus 150, and the over-under is 43. So check that out. Link in the description, and as usual, bet responsibly. Okay, and we're back, and a huge shout out to BetUS for sponsoring today's video and the whole NFL season for me. But let's get back onto the topic of Noah Brown. So why I think this changes a lot for the Washington Commanders, maybe not everything, but gotta do what I gotta do to get you guys to click on the title, or to click on the video, and maybe that means changing up a couple words, making it a little bit more spicy than it really is. But I think this does change a lot for the Commanders if he is the same type of player he was last year. Noah Brown, guess what quarterback he was working with? CJ Stroud, number 2 overall pick, on a team that had a new coach that's trying to transform the culture. And he was able to really help out a young quarterback in CJ Stroud. Is he going to have 1,000 yards for the Commanders this year? Probably not. Is he going to have 800? Probably not. But he could have 500, 600, 700 if he stays healthy. And that is a big thing because he has been dealing with injuries over the, at least last year he did, and then 2018 and 2017. I don't know if that was PT related or if that was injury related, but 2020 to 2022 relatively healthy, but it's just been the last year or so that he's had a lot of injuries. And he had a couple really insane games. Like, he can go off. He can, absolutely go off for you. So I'll just show you guys real quick. So let's go ahead and see. So he had back-to-back, week 8 and week 9, 153 yards, 6 targets, 6 catches, and a tutty. And then next week, 172 yards. That's insane. No touchdowns on 172 yards. So not a big touchdown guy. It's not like he's, he was awful in the other games that, he played in, week 7, had 57 yards. The week before, 40 yards, which, is not great, but it's okay. He had 82 yards in week 15. And then I guess it was week 8 earlier when I said 57 yards. I was just looking at the numbers here. Continue to look here. His best week was week 10 and week 9 for sure. And then he had a couple other good games, like week 15, had 82 yards and a touchdown. And then the next game had 38 yards. So, still had some good games out there, but, very up and down for the Houston Texans. But that up, like 170 yards, that's insane. We haven't had a guy that can do that in a long time. Like Terry's never going to, he's not going to say never, but he doesn't do that. But I'm saying, like, we haven't had a number 2 that can really ball out like that in a long time. So Noah Brown, I think, will be very helpful for Jayden Daniels. Here is him running some routes today in practice. Was getting some extra working with Jayden Daniels today. You love to see that. So you see Jayden Daniels there, Jeff Driscoll, and then Marcus Mariota there on the right, and Ben Sennett and Noah Brown there in the 85. Some people were like, oh, Vernon Davis is out there just because of the 85, but you see him running the route, and good to see he's already there in practice. There were maybe some health concerns, at least, I was thinking about it. Maybe, is he going to be able to practice? He's practicing right away, so he should be good. And then Dan Quinn said that Jayden Daniels came up to him after practice to see if he could begin to work with Noah Brown to try and catch up before week 1. They got extra work in. Love that. You love to see that initiative by your rookie quarterback and get extra work with a guy that just came in. So it might be a little bit of a slow start for Noah Brown because he's learning the system and everything, but he does have some familiar faces. Joe Witt was in Dallas, Dan Quinn, and it's not like they were interacting with each other a ton back in Dallas, but like they do understand each other a little bit. I mean, Noah Brown, Dan Quinn had to go up against him every day in practice for a couple years. So he is familiar with Noah Brown's game and how, what his strengths are, what his weaknesses are, what he can improve for Noah Brown. And that is definitely an advantage and might help him ease into this offense a little bit quicker, gel a little bit quicker with Jayden Daniels. And I just think this is a very good signing for the Commanders. They needed wide receiver help. This is a proven veteran, over 500 yards the last 2 seasons, which no one has on this roster besides Terry. Diami hasn't gone over 200. Zacchaeus might have gone over 500 at some point, but like maybe one year, like last year he didn't. You got Crowder. He's done it before, but it's been a minute. And, everyone else, like Luke McCaffrey, Byron Pringle, Luke McCaffrey has potential, but, I'm not expecting that in year one. So to have a guy that is experienced, has produced the last couple years, has talent, and is familiar with some guys in the organization, I think that does change a lot for this offense and gives Jayden Daniels another playmaker to throw to, which I do think means a ton and is good for his development. You want to have weapons, and not to say we didn't have any weapons, and not to say that this takes us from bottom third receiving core to top 10. No, it doesn't, but it definitely moves you up a couple slots. Adding a guy like Noah Brown who can go out there any given Sunday and put up 100 yards and a touchdown for you. That's just the reality of the situation. So I think it's going to help out the Commanders a ton. Might make a practice squad video later today once that whole thing gets finalized. There's still a couple guys are getting announced, but yeah, that's it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you stuck around till the end, go ahead and comment down below. I'm trying to think of a receiver. I've done Leonard Hankerson, I've done Josh Morgan, I've done we'll go Josh Doxson. I know it doesn't bring back great memories, but Josh Doxson. But yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace. And check out BetUS. Make sure you guys check out BetUS. Peace.